Sorry, the audio was cut off by a call. Okay. Then he told me he was coming. I said, okay, you can come, but provided that you come with the president of Mauritania, who was a friend of mine and still is a friend of mine. And then you can come with him because he was the first person who came solo to come and see me. Okay. He said, okay, I will do that. So he contacted the president of Mauritania, who agreed to come the same day with him. They'll meet in the Gambia, and that was agreed. And they came. And then it was then that Alpha Conde called the UN Secretary General, and I was informed that the representative of the UN Secretary General in West Africa, Chambers, was in the country. So Alpha Conde knew all that. So he was called, they were called. They asked whether he can come and join the discussion. When I've already agreed to let things go. They told me, well, these people, they are hell bent on destroying your country. I told them they cannot destroy my country. Yes. And I told you if it is a military threat, I'm not afraid of that. They'll find me here. The instructions were clear cut. All this fake news on major international networks, oh, Gambia people are fleeing, whatever. We all know those who are fleeing to Senegal. Outrageous statements were being made and people were being harassed. There was a lot of intimidation of APRC supporters. Then I announced that I was not going to leave. Then they calmed down. But these people came and told me, okay, we are certain that the judges are not coming. I made it clear to them. They said, yes, we know. And I know the plan B is even the announcement of the fake results, second result was deliberately made because I accepted the first. They were not expecting me to accept the first one. First results, I accepted them. And then they were certain that if they bring new sets of results, I was not going to accept because the objective was not a democratic change of government. I was ready for that. But then these people came and intervened. They pleaded with me. Yes, I was told of all the plans, and I told him I am out. They were shocked when I told them the location of each so-called ECOWAS member state where their troops are. And I made it very clear, as long as they don't enter the Gambian territory, we are not going to touch them. But if any one of them enters the Gambia, we are going to wipe them out. And that was what I was ready for. Fortunately, all the fake news on TV of Senegalese troops in the Gambia were all lies. They gave a deadline. They gave me an ultimatum. That Secretary General of ECOWAS then, I think it's a Benino or whatever, told me to leave. The same ultimatum that was given to Saddam Hussein before the invasion gave me the date I should leave with my family to another country, and let the new coalition government take over. I just laughed. But anyway, it's a story that we wanted the whole thing to be treated by the Supreme Court. The judges were blocked for whatever reason. And so, because there was no recourse to legal resolution of the conflict, I decided to leave. The the sorry about the cut off. My brothers advised me that they will stay with me and take off with me. I told them, no, there is no need. They told me not to use my aircraft. I told them I'm going to use my aircraft and see who's crazy enough to try to shoot it down. But they told me you have to consider that your family is there, your entire family. You're flying with your entire family. Yes. But anyway, So they decided that they're not going. Remember, they stayed here. Then ECOWAS, that person who was then the secretary general or whatever, or they call whatever name they is called, I think president or chairperson of the ECOWAS, made an announcement that these people were supposed to come. ECOWAS group was supposed to come and meet with Alpha Conde and others, and the president of Mauritania, and the UN representative. Then he made an announcement that those people are not coming because whoever goes to the Gambia, Jammeh will kidnap you. That was what was said official by ECOWAS, that I'm going to kidnap them. Anyway, it's a long story. So Gambia, I think you heard all what was going on if you were listening to the media. So they never turned up, and so I decided to leave. But the agreement secured by Alpha Conde and President Assis, together with then Chambers was authorized to sign on behalf of the UN Secretary General. Okay, when Alpha Conde made the call, I was there. So the whole draft memorandum of understanding was drafted in my presence, and then it was announced in my office. I made the announcement that I'm leaving. What was agreed in the memorandum of understanding is very clear. So if you want to know, go to the UN website. And of course, I'm happy that Khalifa Salah was told to sign by, he said he was authorized to sign. Then Adama Barrow, President Adama Barrow was in Dakar. Okay? So that one was given to okay, Khalifa Salah signed the agreement, okay, for a fact, and Chambers signed for the UN Secretary General, okay, I signed, and then Alpha Conde and others signed, I think so, yes. So there were guarantees, and that they pleaded with me to leave. ECOWAS pleaded that these people, the coalition said that they are not, because originally I wanted to go back to my farms. I was told by all these groups that the coalition is not comfortable with you being in the Gambia. Yes, because you have massive support from the people and from the military. And I made it very clear in the argument that if somebody is elected and he doesn't want to be guarded by his own people, then the election, there's something wrong with the election. Because I've never brought foreign troops to protect me because of the election. And we pose no threat. They know that. We can wipe them out in a minute. But we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't want any child, Gambian child, to be a refugee. We know the conditions of the refugee camps. I don't want any Gambian woman, any Gambian for that matter, to flee the country for whatever reason because of Yahya Jammeh. I love the country and I have to live in peace, leave the country in peace. And that was why I decided to leave, to give them a chance. They told me, you have to go outside of the country, something I rejected before. They pleaded with me, and I said, okay. I looked at it, I watched CNN. I saw people that were moving in other parts of the world, refugees, and the way they are treated. I said, okay, I don't want any Gambian, my friend or my family or my enemy, to go through this very, very, very humiliating treatment. That is not what I have for the Gambians, all Gambians for that matter. And so I decided they said they are going to stay with me, Alpha Conde and Assis of Mauritania, and they took off with me. The rest is history. It was agreed that I can leave and come back after 6 months without preconditions. That is what is there. That I can go back to the Gambia as a Gambian citizen, and there were so many things that were guaranteed. And as soon as I left, you all know what happened. Now I'm here to tell you that 6 months turned out to be almost 9 years, 9 years plus. And today I want to announce to you that come November, this November 2025, I'm coming back to the Gambia. The date and flight arrangements, travel arrangements would be announced by the executive interim leader Mamadou Yafai Tamba, deputy and admin secretary would work on this together with us. That is the travel details. And by the grace of the Almighty Allah, the travel details will be announced soon. These are the people that will make the announcement, period. I want to thank every one of you for your support. I also want to thank the APRC for their support. And I want to advise everyone. The APRC, we are not known for violence. Violence has been exerted on us. I don't want anybody to take the law into your own hands. I have a right to stay because the Supreme Court was supposed to judge. And that was not, that is the democratic and legal solution, peaceful solution to the problem. The Constitution was disrespected, no problem, because there was a hidden agenda. I don't want to go further than that. But this announcement does not mean that APRC militants should take the law into their own hands. No. Let us be law abiding as before. Let us love our country. Let us not be the cause for any bloodshed or any violence in the Gambia. I have to come back and say that's my country. Nobody can prevent me from coming in. I mean, I have missed my country. It was supposed to be 6 months. Now you know how long I've stayed out, and I can hear you people yearning for me to come back. It's not that I don't want to come back, but I always made it very clear. I want to come back. Inshallah, by the will of the Almighty Allah, I will come back month of November 2025. I don't want anybody to be engaged in violence or breaking the law. You must be law abiding. I want to come and stay peacefully in my motherland. May the Almighty Allah grant us that day in November, inshallah, by His grace. I left by His grace, and I want to come back by His grace and will. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all of you. Thank you for your attention. No violence, no intimidation. Thank you.